What's good, everybody? It's Mr. Composition MC that writes fiction in 381, 382, and 383 of Black Clover. Leaks and spoilers have dropped. This one's gonna be for chapter 381. But if you're new to the channel, make sure you leave like, subscribe, notification bells on so you don't miss when I drop a new video. Oh my goodness. So with the fan translations, chapter 381 is called Ultimate Magic. Now, the editor says, what is Yudo's true strength now clad in Asta's power? Finwell remarks, now Yuno is also clad in Asta's power. Lucius says, Yuno is indeed the one posed in the most danger to him. Yuno takes Lucius on 1v1. Yuno is swinging Asta's sword and thinks that musclehead idiot, he was swinging around something this heavy. Now, if you remember, chapter 380, we got some craziness that went on. Lucius hit a strike on Asta and Live. They separated, and it seemed like it was a pretty mortal wound. And Mimosa is just all like, sends him away. Asta gives him anti-magic sword, which is almost is a full circle moment for at least his one of his second spirit, basically, because that is Lick's unborn child. So, and I believe that was Lick's sword as well. So there's that's going on. So this is where we're picking back up. And so for to even say that, like, Asa is freaking like physically. I think it's either him or Yami. I'm not sure, but they're ridiculously like physically strong without magic. So him making that statement is pretty hilarious. Now, Lucius says one must be careful when facing anti-magic attacks. Fuses his star magic with anti-magic and also does a new spell, Black Crescent Moon of the Kamatachi. And that is Japanese yokai, often depicted as a weasel-like being with sharp sickle-like claws. So we get a new spell from using the anti-magic, which is dope because like a lot of people like to hate on but he is a G when it comes to magic. Like, and just being able to learn stuff. It's almost like he's just all like, yo, just in case one day I happen to get anti-magic, son. Now, Lucius says can't see through his permeation magic, which is the magic he got from Gouldre. Lucia plans to strike the part of not clad in anti-magic and finish him off with soul magic. As Lucius tries to attack from behind, he suddenly remarks the magic power dissipate, and then activates Black Neverland. Lucius says he'll wear it away until it's gone, but responds he'll kill him before that happens, which, yo, being an absolute menace as far as like the savagery when it comes to these evil people. Like, he's just all like, nah, I gotta murk you. But him doing a Black Neverland, that's crazy. So it's just all like, is everybody now boosted with anti-magic? You know what I mean? Like, it's interesting as far as with that. Now, I haven't been able to see the actual panels yet, so that's why I can't wait to see that. But then we jump to Noelle, who says she doesn't have much magic power left, which after the sibling freaking joint effort, they got rid of ACL for the first time. But like I said back then, I'm just all like, we can't get too excited due to the fact that Lucius can just make another one. Like, you would have to get rid of the soul, and then we don't know in what way he's able to grab the soul, and do what he's been able to do. So that's why I was just like, I don't think it's over. But um with that being said, Lucius did bring them back. Now they're even more powerful. And so now we're at that point where pretty much everybody's out of magic. It took everything to get rid of that first version. Now they got to go at it again, which is just all like, oh my goodness. Now, then we jump to Marileona, who at the same place as Noelle and says, "Do it, Noelle. This is no longer your mother. I'll take care of this." Which I know everybody in the fan base has been wanting to see a Marileona versus Aisha Silver fight. And I was just like, I'm pretty sure I said this in one of the other videos. I was all like, if Marileona ends up fighting Aesir, it would be with Noelle. So this is going to be epic. Marileona and Noelle teaming up, barely having any power, but now they're going against Aesir Silver, which is going to be insane. Now we get a next scene with Mimosa and Asta lying on the ground. Mimosa says she can only heal his wounds with ultimate magic, but she does not have enough magic power left for that. She's planning to use all the magic power she has left, but that would leave her with no power to help anyone else, so she hesitates. She think Asta definitely wouldn't want to be the only one saved. Then the NPCs tell Mimosa she should forget about them and she should heal Asta instead because they need Asta to save the kingdom, which is 100% true. But I get that, and I also get Tabitha, Yuki Tabata, not making Mimosa so overpowered that she could just like always be able to heal everybody. She does have certain, things like not, being able to heal everybody, and then the type of wound that, is that Asta has, which is going to need a great deal of magical power. And I'm also curious to see what's going to happen with Libe, because they were saying Asta, but it was Asta and Libe that was separated. So what exactly is going to go on with that? Now they say they held Lucius legless angels off. Meeple says she'll definitely heal Asta, but then Morris shows up with the intention to race Asta the flaw for Lucius' sake. Then the Diamond Kingdom gang shows up, and Mars claims that Asta's not a flaw but a friend. And we've been like, yo, when is Mars gonna show up? When is Mars gonna show up? And it needed to happen. So this is chapter 381. This is wild. Already, just being able to have these different things go on. Now, we didn't hear anything as far as with Yami and, Ichika and Noct and his brother. But we are getting as far as the Morris, the Aesir, and Yuno going against Lucius, and finding out what's going on with Asta, even though nothing is said about Libe yet. But yo, chapter 381 is crazy. So with everything going on, I'm trying to see, I'll wait till the officials come out and have my thoughts, so that way I get everything official and we can find out, and I can kind of like think of how things are going, because some people, I've seen some of the comments on X and they was just like, yeah, there's no way that it could be ending anytime soon. And I'm just all like, well, it really actually could be. I think after either, because there has to be some sort of restraining or cutting some of Lucius's power, at least to be able to regenerate. And before we get into that, this video is sponsored by me. Hey, if you want to dive into new music, I have a catalog. Yeah. These are not singles, these are albums. But more recently this year, I did release an album called Tame Chaos. So you can listen, stream, download, purchase all of that in the link in the description. And just, check it out because I want to see if people are actually seeing this and going to the site. So, anyways, to have these particular souls, I mean, it could go different ways. It could be that once they get rid of Lucius and everybody else is kind of just buying time, that could happen. But I do see dying and not like forever, but the soul that is Lick's child, I can see that sacrifice happen. Same thing with Liebe, so that way Asta could, survive. Because I I do think that we're pretty much getting towards that end. And yes, there could be certain plot points, that still, I mean, the main plot point at this point, um, after seeing 382 and 383, I'm not gonna say it in this video, but we'll say it in the next video. But I will say that the only thing really left is Asta's, basically why Asta and who Asta's father is. I think that's about left. After the stuff that if everything is correct at 382 and 383, then some of the other stuff that we were wondering has been confirmed. So Mars coming back is dope. Mars, like, that is super fire. And I want to see as far as this and Lucius fight, because man, him doing these new spells, and then most Asia Silver, Noel, and freaking Marileona. Oh, that's gonna be fire. That's gonna be fire. But let me know what y'all think in the comments. Is Miss Composition MC that writes fiction? Are you glad that Black Clover is back? I'm hyped. I'm hyped. I'm super hyped, man. I want to see some panels though. But hey, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, notification bells on so you don't miss when I drop a new video on the road to 10K. Make sure to check out the description for my music, books, comics, and more. All right, y'all. Peace.